Alright guys, this video is going to be a rehousing of a Hysterocrates Gigas, or Cameroon red baboon, and I just acquired this tarantula recently, but as you'll be able to see when I start to do the rehousing, the enclosure I acquired it in is much too small. You're going to need a paintbrush to motivate the spider to move, a pair of tongs to adjust anything after the spider's in there that may have moved, a flower or some plants to make it look a little bit better in the enclosure, some water to fill up the water dish, and this species is known to swim, so I opted for a deeper one, and put some rocks in the bottom to make it a little bit more shallow, but also a little bit nicer looking. And then here is the actual tarantula and the enclosure. Alright, so I've done all of the stuff for the enclosure off camera because it was a lot of work to do and I felt like it would just be easier, and my camera only records for a certain amount of time, and so I did all of that off camera. But this is the water dish slash swimming pool with the rocks in it, and I filled that up with distilled water so I can be sure there's no chlorine or bad minerals.
Hold the distilled water up to the camera.
Distilled water?
And this is the distilled water. In focus. And then I just put a little flower there so it looks a little bit nicer, and the spider has something to grab onto to come out of the water dish. And then it's filled up with, I'd say, 5 or 6 inches of substrate, and then I made a little starter burrow in this corner that you can see right here. And so I'm going to move the whole thing back into my dirt bin as the escape prevention.
Okay, do you want me to grab the spider?
Well, I need you to be on catch cup / lid duty. And you're recording?
I am.
And I've got the scoop
So, here is the spider. And then I have a pair of feeding tongs and a paintbrush as well. And hopefully I don't get bitten, because that would be a very unfortunate occurrence.
Sad for everybody.
Oh. So far it's a solid 0 out of 10 on the nope scale.
Wait, which spider are you doing?
The Gigas.
You just stick this in and hopefully get a spider out, preferably not onto my hand.
My jumpy's on the
Just
way.
gonna use this to just knock some of the substrate out. Tom Moran really is so much better at moving pet holes than I am.
But this isn't, yeah, this is, the person who sold this said that it was about 1 inch, and that's why it's in such a tiny enclosure. It is definitely not 1 inch.
It's like 2.5
Yeah, as you can see, it's probably a solid like 2.5, 3 inch spider. So definitely large enough to make you very unhappy if you were to make it very unhappy.
Oh my gosh.
Now I'm going to use my paintbrush to hopefully not get a spider on my hand. Look, bonus use for the flower. I just found it. Because, as you can see right there, the spider was kind of struggling to get something to hold on to. And you can imagine that being high up when you're a little tiny spider would be stressful. So I'm going to use the flower as a kind of holding point as well.
But there it goes.
And that was very good.
It's like,
Looks like it's missing one of its legs.
oh, is this the
Which is
Gigas?
unfortunate, but
But it'll grow
hopefully
it back soon.
I do actually have a spider that you'll be seeing in the new additions video soon that was missing 2 legs, and it grew them back after 1 molt.
Oh no.
Oh,
That's fine. It's not a rehouse unless the spider decides it doesn't want to go into its house.
Hey, do you want me to turn this off, or do you keep this going?
Is this
you
the
can
one?
keep recording.
Is this
We'll
the
just-
one that had 6 legs?
That is an extraordinarily bad idea. Just poke it with a paintbrush a little bit.
Oh.
There you can see the spider a little bit better.
Hold on.
Oh, it's actually missing 2 of its legs.
Oh, baby. Okay,
There we go.
That's not your burrow though, but whatever.
It'll find it.
It can do what
just
it wants.
so anybody who doesn't know, Hysterocrates Gigas can swim, and that's why we gave him a pool, because they also feel safe in water. So he'll be able to go into a burrow or the water depending on what he wants. And it looks like he might build his burrow right behind the pool
Yeah,
anyway.
it looks like it decided to use the area behind the pool. Alright, here's a short little update of the Hysterocrates Gigas rehouse. And this is just a couple days after the rehouse, and as you can see, it has made quite the burrow. There it is, right there. But it actually made almost all of this burrow except this edge right here. It just made that recently, but it made this whole side and connected it to the pre-made burrow overnight, which is really cool. And there it is. I haven't actually seen it submerged yet, but it did decide to take a big drink the night we rehoused it, and it's doing really well, and I'm very glad that it's doing very well. And thanks for watching the video. Sorry about camera issues again. I'll have a fix for the next video. But there you go. And thanks for watching. And please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Or let us know in the comments what you think we could do better.